Welcome back, everybody, to Words with Wayman. I'm your host, as always, Matt Wayman. Please support us online on Twitter at Words with Wayman, on Facebook, Words with Wayman. Coming back, we're 2 computers deep into this podcast. The first computer kicked out on us. Ed's been such a champ that he's coming back and he's staying. I really appreciate it. Welcome back, part 2. Ed Werner.
Thank you for having me, man. My pleasure.
2 computers in. Thank you so much for sticking around. We were talking, we've talked about this 12 times now. 17 computers deep. We were talking about how you got a job.
I was a deputy attorney general.
We should do a 2-man play now, because I know we can just do this as a play.
right. In New Jersey, I was a deputy attorney general from 2002 to December 2005. Mm-hmm. And then I was appointed by the governor, at that time it was acting Governor Cody, to be the chairman of the Crime Victims Compensation Board. Mm-hmm. And I served in that capacity for 2.5 years, which I loved that. It was very satisfying work. Yeah. We were helping a lot of people. But unfortunately, it appeared to me, though, there were people stealing money. And some of it was quite overt in the form of low-show or no-show jobs.
Which got you in trouble with another politician?
Well, there were politicians that were supporting some people who had these jobs there. At that time, it was a board.
It
was the Crime Victims Compensation Board. There was legislation to change it from a board form to an agency. Now, I was the chairman of the board, and I really did a lot of work.
Yeah,
there were
some good work.
We really were. And then there were 3 board members who really hardly ever came in.
God, I want that job so bad.
They would have $100,000 a year. Well, Marianne McConnell, she refused to come in before 11 o'clock in the morning. And
Goodness gracious.
I used to work on Wall Street, and she comes in at 11 o'clock, and I said, good afternoon.
Yeah.
And she filed a complaint with the Ethics Commission saying I was creating a hostile work environment.
That's hilarious. That's just a fun joke.
Yes. Anyway,
so being lazy.
Political appointees. Anyway, but we did get rid of those people that made me very unpopular with them and their friends. We had a daughter of a former senator who was then a lobbyist. We fired her, and that really was somebody else actually put the complaint in against her. But anyway, But the big one was I asked for an audit, and to digress for a moment. No, they don't like it. But we had a program within the agency that it had been there for about 10 years. And just to digress for a moment, we would compensate innocent victims of violent crime as long as they cooperated with law enforcement and didn't have another source of money. And you get $25,000 if you fit that criteria. Now, for people who had lost the use of their legs, they were considered catastrophic injured. And they would be entitled to an additional $35,000 that normally took the place of construction work done on houses.
Ramps
And whatnot, right. And I'd asked one gentleman who was supposedly... He's the only person...
How'd you find it? You just saw it, or like...
Well, just in doing, most of the claims that come in there are for people who are victims of sexual assault or murder or for different types of assault. But the one thing was this, it was one part of the agency that just weren't very many cases coming to my attention. And I just decided to ask about it. And
something.
I said, well, why, what are these catastrophic cases?
Because you didn't see them.
No, every claim that we paid came across my desk. I had to review it.
Okay.
And so it's a lot. So every day I get a stack of files and I look at these things and after doing this for about, I guess it was about at this point maybe 18 months, it just occurred to me, what are these catastrophic cases?
Because you hadn't seen any?
I won't say that I hadn't seen any, but it just wasn't something that came across my desk a lot. Mm-hmm. So, and that's when I was told, well, the only person who could ever work on those is this guy, Craig DiFiore. And then I asked him about it, and I couldn't get a straight answer out of him. I asked the computer people to give me a run of all of these cases for the last 10 years. And they said, okay. And then they came back the next day and said, we can't do it. I said, why? And they said, because the computer systems are set up to fail to capture information on the catastrophic case. This is May of 2008. Yeah. I asked for an audit. And then the following July, about 8 weeks later, I was called into the state's attorney general's office for a meeting on administrative issues, they told me. I got there. This is Ann Milgram was the attorney general. Mm-hmm. She was not there, but 2 people were there in her stead. And they unceremoniously asked me for my identification. And at that time I had a state car, my
badge.
And a badge, whatever, yeah. And they said, troopers will drive you home. So I'm like in a daze. I get out of my,
That
this
has to be
trooper's car.
so overwhelming.
And then I get in my apartment, I go online, and I see the Attorney General has issued a public statement why she had to fire me because based on the preliminary findings by the Inspector General, there were some issues in the agency.
So what's that like, taking that blow? Just like
Well, it's horrible. I mean, I had to call my kids and say, listen, there's going to be some stuff about me in the paper. I didn't do anything wrong. But you'll learn.
Yeah.
This is I did not consider myself a whistleblower. I thought as long as I did everything I was supposed to do, in the end, I would be fine. And that
absolutely.
is not true. Now,
Work within the system.
The governor at the time was John Corzine.
Mm-hmm.
Knows me very. I mean, I say knows me very, but he knows exactly who I am.
Absolutely.
I thought, well, he at least, So
then,
it didn't occur to me that anything bad could happen to me because I didn't do anything wrong. But here I am, like thrown out on the street. I was clearly like a pariah.
Everybody wouldn't talk to you, I'm sure. It was
very hard. Nobody would. All of a sudden, nobody would return my phone calls, that kind of thing, and so it was rough. So now this time I was paying $700 a week in child support.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to the court to get that amended, and I opened up my own law practice to try to get that off the ground, and the judge wouldn't reduce the child support payments. So while I was getting this law practice off the ground, I fell behind. I went through all my savings paying the child support, and then I went to jail twice. And both times because I completely tapped out of all my money.
Yeah.
And the third time, both times my father came and put up the money to get me out.
Mm-hmm.
The third time I was called by, I guess it was the state troopers, saying we have a warrant for your arrest. And I called my father and I said I need some cash. And he said, I'll give you some cash, but not to pay these troopers, not to pay the estate because this is never going to end, just to get out of town. So without any planning, I packed everything up. I had a Saturn, packed everything up in the Saturn. Drove to my father's house. He gave me an envelope with $2,000 cash, and I drove out to Colorado. I still had my state government medical benefits, and I went to the Highlands. It was a mental health hospital in Highlands Behavioral Health, I think it's called. And I stayed there for 10 days, and I remember this. We were sitting around in a circle because they do group therapy there.
Absolutely,
and everybody's saying, well, let's plan on what we're going to do to get out. Let's be positive. Let's. And everybody's saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you must have someplace to go. And I said, no. And I'll never forget this. There was a woman, her name is Melody Scott, one of the most wonderful people. She's from Mississippi, in a wonderful, lovely Southern accent.
Love Southern accent.
I know. She said, well, you can stay with me. So I said, okay. So I was there for 10 days now. She had given me her number. She had gone home. I walked out the door of that place, and I called her. And she said, yes, I meant that. And she allowed me to stay in her house. She lived in the Highlands Ranch.
Wow.
Yeah, and now if she hadn't done that, I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah.
But I had to get a job, and that's when I went out. The only job I could get then was being one of those street canvassers at that time.
Oh,
Okay. To save the children. You've seen the kids out there. Usually it's kids doing it. I was 49 years old out there with these kids. In the rain, anyway.
As to restart like that, it has to be, what do you feel like at this time? I don't know. I've known you as such a super strong guy.
Well, thank you. But I don't know. Just doing what I had to do. Unfortunately, now just through doing that kind of work, I got to know people who were in the roofing business, and I'm able to, I'm afraid of heights, but I'm still. I forced myself to get up on the roofs to make those sales.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm doing that now, yeah.
I've never done roofing. I've done some concrete stuff.
Right, but I'm doing and now through this whole thing, I've always been a transvestite. That's the word that we use. That was always kept secret, and it was only after I came out.
A lot of my favorite comedians transvestite.
Are they secrets?
Ed Werner,
Yes. Okay. Anyway, and it was and then I just decided to, because there was no way of getting out doing that, to do it on stage. And doing the comedy that way. It came out as Penny.
Yeah, which I don't even remember. I don't know the first time I saw it, but
now there is still a warrant out for my arrest in New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a bad. You're a bad girl. It's one of those things when I see you on stage. To be 100% honest, I think you're one of the best political writers that I know or have ever seen.
Well, that's fine.
But also very quick, super quick.
Well, Thank you for saying
And
that.
you produce a lot of material too, because with political stuff, it has to be.
It's got to be fresh.
It's got to be fresh.
Right.
You
But you learn tricks.
That's why I don't do it.
There are some jokes that they work, like you can work them into a new
A bunch.
headline.
Yeah.
But and the audience. But see, the audience appreciates that. If they read about something recently and you were quick enough to make a joke about it, they appreciate that you're on top of it.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing about political humor, I think, is that even if the joke itself is not that funny, there are people in the audience who, if they agree with what you're saying, they will laugh audibly to register their agreement with you. So you get kind of those laughs.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But and there's I feel like in some senses you're also teaching a little bit too.
A little bit, I think. I don't know. Well, I guess we're the modern day court jesters, right? We have the freedom of speech to say things that we can speak truth to power.
Oh yeah. What is it? I think Oscar Wilde or something. I think it's a quote that's like, if you tell the truth, you better make it funny, or else people will kill you.
I didn't.
If you're speaking the truth about that stuff, it better,
Yeah, but don't you think? I mean, where other than the comedy stage can you really speak your mind?
It's true. It's one of the only places I feel truly at home, and like I can actually do what I want and be respected for it in some instances too. Do you feel like you've turned the corner? I mean, it seems like you're a happy guy.
Yes, I'm loving doing this. I especially love the show, and Jodie Beaufort, the bar owner at the Blush and Blue, she's been great because we have total freedom of license to do what we want to do there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we attract a little audience. Everybody kind of knows that's the.
Every time I've been there, I've done it twice. One time I headlined it, and the other time I asked to do it, which was this week, and I had a fantastic time as well.
Well, thank you. You're always great. Yes.
It's a fun room, and
it's a fun little room. And yeah, it's warm. Nobody. I don't think rarely does anybody ever get heckled there. Almost.
No.
And we would. Yeah.
But it's like, so now, I mean, you were doing that when you'd built up in that your entire career and had all of that go down, and now it's like, I found with comedy, it's like just like rebuilding. It's helped me. It's like rebuilding yourself almost, because you have this thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to do this. I mean, and I'm learning it as I do it. I have no background in comedy at all, so.
What's up, baby?
Hi.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Haley Cassidy, everybody, just entered the building. A former show guest, actually, on Words with Wayne was about 2 weeks ago. Should we do the intro? This is Ed. This is Haley.
Nice to meet you.
People on the internet felt that. They felt that interaction. If you guys have ever wondered what it was like to listen to the time two people met for the first time, y'all heard it here first on Words with Wayman. So I guess we're getting down to it. These things go pretty quick. I have a question that I asked everybody. If your life in 5 years could be the best in the world, what would it look like for you?
No, I don't know. Let's see. Well, spend a lot of time with my granddaughter.
Mm-hmm. I got a chance to meet your son. Beautiful boy,
Isn't he
cool
wonderful?
dude.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thomas, yes. And my two daughters, I see they're still back in the East Coast.
Yeah.
So I would like, in all honesty, in terms of what we were discussing before, I would like everybody to understand what happened at that New Jersey agency.
Yeah.
I really would like that story out there. That's what I would like. If I could get back and be with my kids and see my parents again and have that story be out there, that's what I would like.
Absolutely. We'll talk about it after we get off the air, but if there's anything that I can help you out with.
Okay.
Daddy's on board, huh?
Okay.
Got about 20,000 hits on our last YouTube video. We're starting to create some thunder. So
Okay.
let's figure out a plan. We'll do something.
Let's challenge anybody in the state of New Jersey. Look at. I'm saying, and I'm naming names. It's on my blog. Who I think did what? I think they stole millions of dollars out of there, and I think they ruined my life because I pointed it out.
Yeah.
And I'll challenge anybody, especially Governor Christie. I know he wasn't the governor at the time, but it's his. It's his Attorney General's office. If he wants to investigate that, they can prosecute people. They're still there.
If you're out there listening, Christy, if you're a subscriber to the Words with Wayman podcast,
and I really mean that. That's a challenge to Governor Christie.
I would love it if they did.
No more fat jokes, Governor Christie. You can do this, I promise.
Because I've known you for a number of years now, and you've been nothing but straightforward and sweet to me. And
thank you.
I think I judge people definitely off character, and I don't think that you ever would have done any of those things. But I do want to thank you so much for coming out, and just one more time, let everybody know where they can find you at.
At the Blush and Blue every Thursday, Capital Hilarity. as Penny from Heaven. I did
Yeah.
Penny from Heaven with Brady Quarterman and Kara Williams.
First Saturday of the month.
And first Saturday of the month, bits and pieces. I'm sorry
Bits
with
and
the
pieces.
agency.
No,
yes.
that's cool. That worked out perfect.
That
I
is
get to promote it.
Penny's two cents. Yes, Penny's 2
Heck
cents.
yeah. I designed the logo for that.
Yes, you did,
got
which is
it.
beautiful. Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. Support us online at Words with Women on Twitter, Words with Women on Facebook, guys. We will see you all very soon.